Hey everyone, get ready to have some Bitmoji fun. We're going to be making a class picture using Bitmojis. So the first place we need to go is we need to start our Google Slides. So there's lots of different ways to get there, but the easiest way is to click on this waffle or this 9 box and click on Slides. And we're making a brand new one, so click on this plus button right here. We do not need these text boxes, so I'm just going to click and drag to highlight those text boxes, and I'm going to hit delete. We also don't need these themes, so we can close that out as well. So we need a background. So let's go to background up here. And we're going to choose an image, and we're going to do a Google image search, unless you found an image that you already like, that you downloaded, but I haven't yet. So let's go ahead and go to Google for help. So we want a picture of walls and floor. So I'm going to type in walls and floor, and someone already has it here. Walls and floor background. And you can see there are a lot of options. I'm going to go ahead and pick this one. Double click it. Done. So the next thing we have to do is insert some bleachers so that our Bitmojis have somewhere to stand, because they won't fit side by side and we don't want them floating around. So we're going to do that by going to Insert, Image, Search the Web, and we're going to type in what we're looking for, bleachers, and then end it with PNG or transparent background. Okay, so that whatever items we choose won't have a background around them. So that sometimes works, not always, but see, I don't see anything that I like in here. Another thing that we can use as bleachers is actually shelves. So shelves, let's just try PNG this time. They both work for me, but sometimes when one doesn't work, I try the other one and it works better. So let's see. Maybe the word shelf. So let's see if we could find one. That one right here looks good. So again, type in PNG or transparent background when you look for things. So you can see there's no background around this. So I know I'm going to be working with a lot of images here, so I'm going to go ahead and crop it, because when you work on with a lot of images and they go on top of each other, sometimes the computer doesn't know which one you want to click on. So I'm just going to crop it a bit, and that is not the size I want. So I'm just going to stretch it out because I want as many people to fit as possible. And you're not really going to see this. But it's just there for them to stand on. Okay, and I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it because I need 2 of them. So you can see I could drag the other one. I'm going to move it around a little bit. I'm just going to use my arrow buttons. Oh, now it's floating. That looks pretty good. So we have a place for our Bitmoji to stand. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to actually add our Bitmojis. Now, we wanted Bitmojis of our students or of our colleagues, so I couldn't use my Bitmoji extension right here. So if you can see, if you have a Bitmoji extension, you can click on it and you can add yourself to the picture. So I'm just going to type in the word pose and find a good one of myself. This one looks professional. So I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it, and here I am. So I can be part of that, but my extension only has myself. So what I had to do is I had to ask my colleagues to send me Bitmojis of themselves. So if you have students, you can create it for them, or you can ask their families to send you one. I have heard of some parents maybe not liking the way the teachers made it. So it's up to you. You know the relationship you have with your family. So you can either make it for the kids, or you could ask them to make it and maybe send it to you or email it to you. So let me go ahead and show you what to do with images that you have received. So you can go into your folder. Oh, sorry. Let's go ahead and insert it. So insert, image, upload from computer, and you can see these are the images that were shared with me by my colleagues. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick one, and now there's a problem here, and it's not because she's dressed for summer, because it's summertime, everybody. The problem is that we have a background and we don't want to have a background. So I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to show you how to get rid of the background. So let's go ahead and open up another tab, and it's called Remove BG, and I think it's remove.bg is the exact site, and I always forget, so I just type in remove BG, and it looks like this. And all you have to do is upload the image, and I'm just going to choose one, and look at what happens. It removes the background for me. So I'm going to download that, and now it's in my downloads folder. So I'm going to go ahead and insert that picture right now. So I'm going to insert image from the computer, and I have a folder where I already put some of them right here, so you could see these are the ones that don't have a background. So I could do that, or to save time, I could actually click and I can press Control and I could choose a few, or I could click and I could press Shift and go to the very last one, and I just selected all of them. So I'm going to go ahead and, so I don't have to go back and forth in Windows, I'm just going to click those. Every single, wow, that's a lot of them. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, because they're on top of each other, I'm just going to manipulate them one by one and crop them down and move them around on the screen. Okay, so I'm just going to double click on this first one, just one at a time. And I know this takes a bit of time, but it will be worth it. So I'm going to double click, and you can see those black edges. So I'm going to go ahead and hover over the black edge, and I'm going to bring it as close to her as possible, because like I said, if you don't crop them, then there's going to be too much of overlapping and you're going to have a hard time selecting. So once I'm done, I'm going to click out so it knows that I'm not cropping anymore, and I'm just going to move her over to wherever I want. And I'm going to make her a bit shorter because she's a bit tall, and I do suggest that you start with the front row first, because as you make these, they tend to line up behind each other. So we want to put, you can always adjust that later, but this is just my suggestion. So I'm just going to keep going. You can see me do this, and I click out. I'm going to drag her kind of right next to her, and I'm going to shrink her down a bit so that they're similar size. Okay, I'm just going to show you what one is like if I put one on the second row. So see what happens here. This one's tiny one. So I'm just going to crop that, and I'm going to put her right here in the second row. I'm going to make her grow, and you can see it automatically puts her, see, it automatically puts her behind, and you can use your arrows to kind of help you around. You notice sometimes that happens where they get a little distorted, so I just undo what I did by clicking Control Z. And then I have to make sure when I hover, I really hover over the black part, because sometimes it will actually distort them. So I click out, and then I just continue to move them, shrink them down. And you notice I'm going to be working on these and I need the space, so I'm going to try to highlight them right now and move them all over and see if it works. Oh, I ended up moving a lot, but that's okay. Just going to move her back over. Go. There we go. And if you notice right here, you could see that this person's finger is like poking her in the face. So you can move your characters from front to back. So I'm going to go ahead and go to this character, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to press order. And right here, I could send her backward or back. So backward just means one level back, and all the way to the back is the furthest back behind all the objects that are in front. So I'm just going to send her backward because I just need her behind that one person. Okay, there you go. So her hand is behind her now instead of poking her in the cheek. Spend this time right now just finishing lining them up, and then doing the second row and the third row, and any last minute tweaks in case someone's covering someone's face or anything like that. And I'm going to show you an end product right now. So here's the finished product of my beautiful colleagues who are gracious enough to share their Bitmojis with me, and I've decided to add a little label down here, and I'll show you how I did that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to delete it, and I'll show you how I put it in. So I went to Insert, Image, Search the Web, and I searched for a chalkboard actually. And again, you want to type in transparent background, and maybe spell your word correctly. There you go. Or PNG. So I'm going to go ahead and search for one that I like, one that's blank, and this is the one I chose earlier, so I'll just do it again. I'm going to double click on that, and ooh, it's humongous, so let's shrink it down. We don't want to cover anyone's beautiful faces, so I'm just going to put that here, and I don't care if it hangs out the bottom because that's just going to get cut off, and I want to be able to type in there, so I have to insert a text box. So I'm going to go up here, I'm going to insert text box, and I'm going to hover, and I'm going to click in the corner, and I'm going to drag all the way to this bottom corner. And before I start typing, I'm going to change the color to white, because if I start typing I won't see it because of the black. So now I can type, and though that font is great, it's kind of boring. I'm gonna go ahead and fix it. Let's see, how about this one? Oh, I think that's the one I used earlier. I liked it. Okay, so I could also shift that up a little bit, and here you go. And there is my finished product. So now that we're done, we're going to want to be able to share this. So you can file, download as a JPEG. That's a picture file, so you could share that on Facebook or email or anywhere. You could click on that, and what it will do is it will actually turn that into a picture for you. You can also publish to the web, and if you publish to the web, you get a link right here. I'm just going to copy and show you what that looks like in another tab. I'm going to paste that link, and it just shows just like this. So those are your different options in sharing your beautiful end product. If you have any questions, let me know, and hopefully that has been useful.